Hello. Today I would like to talk about the difference between goals and intentions, because I see there's a whole misconception around that, and many people think intentions and goals are the same thing, and yet it's not. And I think when I explain it, it's going to make sense. So first of all, goals are about humans. Humans have goals. Intention is about our being. My being, who I am, my consciousness, my mind, my spirit, whatever you say. So when we put it in words, we are human beings. So there is one part that's human, which means I have a humanity. She has a name. She was born. She's gonna die. She has a body. She has friends. She has a husband. She has children. She has a house. She has a car. And she has goals. So goals are about this human, whereas intentions have nothing to do with this human. When I force her to intentions, it doesn't work, and then it leads to positivity. When I try to force her into intentions, I'm actually misleading her. Why? Because intentions are about my being. An intention is who I am. And actually, affirmations, if they are serving who I am, if they are reminding me of who I am, and if we talk about affirmations the way I talk about, like affirmations are not for your human self. Why? It's like, I love and accept myself. That's an affirmation, right? If I start asking Nevsah, the human self, to love and accept herself, it's not going to happen. And the more she can't love and accept herself, the more angry she's gonna get. Because humans, I talk about it in some of my videos previous, if you watched it, humans on the molecular level, on the atomic level, everything in the world is made of positive and negative. Everything is a combination of the positive and the positive and the negative neutralizes each other. And on the atomic level, we have neutrons, protons, and electrons. So you will always have protons and electrons. You will always have love and hate, freedom and slavery, relaxation and stress. We will always have good and bad. We will always have the angelic and evil. So when I expect the human to become an angel, I'm gonna create a devil. Why? Because the human won't be able to become an angel. No human has the capacity to be only good. It's not aligned with universal laws. It can't and will not happen, ever. But there are humans who want to be only good and nice and sweet and loving because they got the message wrong. And I wrote it in my book, Awakening. Awakening is not what you think. Awakening is not what people think. It's not it. If you think being nice and good and sweet and loving as a human was awakening, it is the illusion actually. If you are trying to be as a human positive all the time, nice all the time, that's your illusion. You're in a deep sleeping state. Because in reality, there is no such thing. It will never happen. So for the human, we need to understand that humans have goals. They have clear goals. Humans don't even have emotions. Emotions are illusionary. What humans experience as emotions is just distorted. It's just a distorted consciousness. It's just a distorted mind. When the mind doesn't experience good or bad at the same time, when you think good is better than bad, or when you think there is good and bad, evil and angelic, or what's happening is either positive or negative, when the mind sees either positive or negative, good or bad, angelic and evil, what happens is it loses its balance. It loses its clarity, light, it gets distorted. So with that distortion, you start expecting what the humanity can't bring out. And that's more distortion. And you create emotions and you create emotional charges, which I'll talk about in my other videos. And with that emotional charges, many people can't even function. And that's a whole developed system at the back of it. Psychotherapy, therapy, psychiatric this and that. it's just a distortion of the mind, and we can get the mind balanced for each and everybody in the world with strong methods right now. When I look at intentions, intentions are aligned with affirmations, and intentions are who we are. An intention is who I am in my being, not in my humanity. Like I see in social media and everywhere, and there are people who talk about things like, I am love. So when I say, I am love, and I think my humanity is that, I'm in an illusion and I have a distorted perception of things. When I say, I am love, if I'm referring to my being, human being, that's the right kind of perception, that's just balanced perception. Because in our being, spirit, mind, consciousness, we are all miracles, and there is even no we. There's only one presence, and that's the I am presence. As the I am presence, I am love, period. And as Nevsah, this human who was born and who's gonna die, she loves and hates. And the being, I am love. So there lies the misconception. Because not many people meditate regularly, and because you can only connect and keep on connecting with the I am presence through meditation, all the messages and everything gets distorted. Only when I'm regularly meditating, and only when I'm connected with my being, and I prefer the being meditation method, and that's why I teach the being meditation method. Only when I'm connected with my being throughout the day, morning and evening, and then I start connecting with that being throughout the day, I can observe my humanity and talk about the things I talk about. Because I myself, as the consciousness, have been an observer for a long time now. And I'm observing this human, and I'm certain that this human or any human will have positive and negative, good or bad, all the parts, because of the laws of the universe. So let's talk about intentions. When I'm talking about intentions, I'm not talking about the world. When I say things like, I have an intention for this week, it doesn't make sense. My intention for this week is this. My intention for Nevsah is this. It doesn't make much sense. Because the intentions are for me, for the I am presence. When you observe the human self, as long as I did, if there are people who meditate regularly, they can connect with what I'm saying. If you have observed this human for a certain period of time, you get that she doesn't have any intentions. Nevsah couldn't be less interested in feeling love. She couldn't be less interested. She just doesn't care about love and all those intention world, the being. She couldn't care less. The only thing she cares, humans, the only thing she cares are her goals, reaching her goals. That's what humans are about. The being is interested in feeling something. So intentions are not for my human, but the being part. When I intend on something, I'm intending on that for my own sake. And the reason people have intentions, or the reason we work with intentions, is because we know people, not people, but the consciousness got disconnected from itself. So as the being, human beings being part, if I'm connected with my being throughout the whole day, I will not have any intentions. Why? Because all the intentions are me. The I am presence, I am the intention. I am it all. Love, health, wealth, abundance, not wealth, but abundance, wholeness, truth, everything we have intentions about, the I am presence, I am that. So when we intend, we are actually intending for a connection. Intention equals to connection. It's the connection with myself. It's the connection with my being. So the more I'm connected with my being, the less intentions I have. The more I'm connected with my being, the less I will be needing affirmations. The reason the world needs affirmations, many people need affirmations, is because still not many people are meditating and not many people are connected with their being. The more I'm connected with my being, the less intentions I have. Why? Because I start seeing everything I ever intended is me. I am love. And like I said, when I say I am love, I'm not referring to this dying human self. Because this dying human self is not love, and it won't be love. And if I expect her to be love all the time, I'm going to make her sick. And many people get sick because of that. Because they expect the human self to be more than just a human. And that's the ego consciousness, and that's the ill consciousness, that's the sick consciousness. Whenever you expect the human self to be more than it is, and how do you expect the human self to become more than it is? Right now, everybody is expecting the human self to be kind and loving and positive and nice and, all of that. And the more you do that, the more distorted your mind will get, or the more distorted the mind gets, the more positivity you'll seek. When you look at humans, we start talking about goals. Like I said, if you have observed the human for a long time, period of time like I did, if you've been meditating for a long time, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. If you observe this human, you understand that the human doesn't have any intentions. The human self couldn't care less about love and kindness and compassion and all of that. The human doesn't care. The only thing the human cares about is her goals. That's all. She doesn't have a actual need to be kind or cruel or nice or bad. She is the way she is. So if I want people to get back to their humanity, to really ground them and to be really real and to use their full potential, I'm going to lead them to goals. And I do that by coaching them. So when we set goals, we need, for all of us, when you set goals, remember that goals are for the human self. They have to be specific. Like, love can't be a goal. Freedom can't be a goal. It's not a goal. It's irrelevant. Feeling loved, feeling supported, feeling this, feeling that, they are intentions. How you feel, your psychology is about your being. It's about your connection with your being. It's about your connection with who you are. If you're a person who is aware of if not a person even, if in your consciousness you're aware and awake of who you are, and my book Awakening will support that, so I challenge you to read the book, because it's kind of a challenging book it might be a challenging book for many people. If you got that in your being, in your truth, you are even more than the universe, this eternal self. And from that level, that awakened level, you look at this humanity, this human self, you see that the human self is already free. The human self is already, the way the human self expresses and experiences love is also through hate. The way the human self expresses compassion is also through not having compassion. The way the human self expresses or experiences kindness is through cruelty. It all goes together, and there's a whole universal order, perfect order behind that. And it's magical, it's beautiful. And seeing that is the real awakened mind. And with that mind, we set goals as humans, and a human, to evolve, to succeed, to grow, to be human, needs goals. So setting goals and having goals is a natural state for humans. Having intentions is an unnatural state for humans. Write that down, because there's a whole misconception around that. Having goals all the time, yes, all the time, having goals is very natural for humans. Having intentions are not natural for humans. Having intentions is very natural for my being. So if I have intentions in my consciousness, in my mind, if I know those intentions are about my connection to myself, those are real intentions. Having goals in the mind or in the consciousness is unnatural. Because the consciousness, the I am presence, doesn't have goals. As the I am presence, I couldn't care less about what's happening in Nevsah's world. I just don't. And you know, if you have been meditating or if you've been connecting with that being I'm talking about, you know that being couldn't care less about whatever the fuck happening in the world. So during meditations, what I experience when I connect with the I am presence, I just don't care about anything in the world. Like Nevsah has this, doesn't have that, has that, who cares? You know, in that level of being, connection with the I am presence, when I stay there, it's just okay, you know, it's just okay if Nevsah has money, doesn't have money, if she reaches her goals, doesn't reach her goals, the I am presence doesn't care. But because you don't stay enough with the I am presence, you mislead the humanity. Because if the human self starts not caring, that's a problem that's very unhealthy. Why? Because the human self cares about her goals with her whole being. Her whole truth is goals. The human equals to goals. So whenever you see you don't care about your life, know that this human doesn't care about her life, know that you disconnected from reality. Because what's real is the human self has goals. Always, yes, always. She hates herself for not reaching her goals. She judges herself every time she makes mistakes. And that's the way she grows, and that's the way she reaches her goals. Every time, like in a day, if you're not judging yourself enough, there's a problem with you. During the day, if you don't hate yourself enough, there's a problem with you, and there's a problem with your life. If a person comes up to me and says, I don't judge myself ever, and I don't hate myself, I love myself all the time, I know there are areas in their lives that doesn't work. I don't even have to ask another question. I know there will be some areas, it might be health, it might be wealth, they surely don't have the money, they surely don't have the perfect relationship, they surely don't grow. A person who don't judge herself doesn't grow. And that's the whole distortion. And the reason behind that distortion is people are not taking time to meditate and connect with the I am presence. Because when you connect enough with the I am presence, you start seeing that not caring about life, being in love and the ultimate truth is about my being. It's not about this humanity. If you stay as an observer, you start seeing what this human is all about. And that's an awakened state. You wake up when you start seeing what this human is about. And the rest, people trying to be, kind all the time, positive all the time, that's just a sleeping state, and that's the illusion. So that's why I say awakening is not what you think. Thank you for listening today. See you next time.